We got an interesting matchup going on in the East between the Boston Bruins and the Carolina Hurricanes. On one side, you got the once-upon-a-time rookie sensation and Stanley Cup hero Cam Ward. And on the other side, you have a guy who's had amazing stats for 2 years and is nominated for the Vezina, even though for some reason most of the people I talk to don't even think he's a good goalie, Tim Thomas. Similar to the Chicago-Vancouver series, you got one team that swept and another team that was in an absolute war. So on one side, you can look at the Boston Bruins and go, well, they're well-rested, not that banged up, I think they can take it. And on the other side, you go, yeah, the Carolina Hurricanes might be tired, but they're ready for battle. Look what they did in Game 7. By the way, any Devils fans leave the room for the final 2 minutes only to come back and find out what happened? Hey guys, I was just on the phone with Jeff and what the... Anywho, even though the Bruins swept the Canadiens, and the Canadiens did not pose much of a threat to eliminating the Bruins from the playoffs, they were still a physical presence, they were a chippy presence, so the Bruins won't be soft on the Hurricanes at all, even after the long layoff. But you gotta watch out for the Hurricanes. They were extremely hot heading into the playoffs to begin with, and now they're riding this high off of one of the most dramatic Game 7 victories in recent memory. Now for Boston, even though they have tons of scoring talent, Cam Ward will be a more difficult goalie to beat than Carey Price was. Carolina's biggest challenge will be keeping the big bodies out from in front of the net like Lucic, and on the power play to an extent Chara. But if we're going to talk about the power play, we can also look at the Hurricanes, because one of the most silently effective signings this summer, Anton Babchuk, can really thump it from the point, and the Bruins got to be careful of that. If you ask me, I think the Bruins are going to take the Hurricanes. Not to take anything away from the Hurricanes, because even though they had an amazing victory against the Devils, that team wasn't the Scott Stevens Devils that we remember from before. So unless Carolina catches Boston completely sleeping after a sweep, I think the Bruins got this. I got 2 questions for the series. 1, who's going to win, obviously. And number 2, let's theorize that this game goes to the 7th game in overtime. If Boston scores, who's going to score for them? And if Carolina scores, who's going to score for them? Enjoy the second round, guys.